Welcome back to our Big Picture Questions video series. I'm Brian Abernathy, an elder here at Emmaus Church, a parent of two, and a volunteer teacher in Emmaus Kids Ministry. In these videos, we're going to walk through the big picture questions from the Gospel Project curriculum that we use in Emmaus Kids. This unit's big picture question is, what does God know? The answer is God knows everything about the past, the present, and the future. God's knowing everything is what we call omniscience. Beyond just knowing everything today, God knows all of history and all of the future. He has written down and numbered our days before we drew our first breath. My kids just recently finished reading the Wingfeather Saga by Andrew Peterson, a great book series. They were captivated by this story, surprised by twists and turns, and excited to see how characters were developed. But you know who was never surprised by the Wingfeather Saga? Andrew Peterson. The author of the book knew the characteristics and the plot before there were names and stories. He knew the way each character would begin, how the saga would end. In the same way, God, as the author and creator of life, doesn't just know everything there is to know about today and everything there is to know about us. He knows everything there is to know about yesterday and everything there is to know about everything tomorrow. God existed before time and knew the future of our lives an eternity before our universe even existed. We as believers can look to Scripture to find reassurance for our lives from God's omniscience. This makes me think of the woman at the well. After Jesus had spoken truth and life to this woman, she returns to others and says, "He told me everything I ever did." Jesus also told this woman that the time would come when true believers, which she was about to become, would worship him in spirit and in truth. When we think about the incommunicable attributes of God, those are attributes that we cannot share with him, like his omniscience, we can tend to think of them in a big, lofty, conceptual way. It's important for us to always remember the significance of these incommunicable attributes, but also to remind ourselves and our kids that God is still a very personal God. When you talk to your kids about these truths, it's important to know that it makes God greater and bigger and so far above us, but he also loves us each individually. As parents, we have a unique opportunity to speak truth and life into the hearts of our children. I know my kids love to hear stories about when they were little or funny stories about their parents from before they were born. But they also need to hear from me that they are loved, that God has a purpose for them, and that their identity and value comes from who they are as daughters of Jesus. He knows all things. He knows them fully, and he loves them. Part of his knowledge of past, present, and future is knowing each one of those whom he would call to himself. And we as parents have such a unique opportunity to position that calling and speak that truth into our hearts. While God's omniscience may be incommunicable, his love is direct and personal for each one of us. I hope this big picture question helps you have some big picture conversations with your kids.